Hi, I'm Laura Reese, co-founder of the Vegan Justice League, and I'm here with Paul Bashir, co-founder of Anonymous for the Voiceless.
Yes.
Anonymous for the Voiceless was my entry point into vegan activism, and I feel honored to be an organizer for Anonymous for the Voiceless and to take part whenever I can. So that's why we're here in New York City today.
Yes.
I talked with Paul yesterday about the Vegan Justice League mission, which is to lobby politicians to end subsidies to animal agribusinesses and to enact legislation to help animal farmers transition to plant farming or other non-exploitative and sustainable businesses. And Paul, I wanted to hear your thoughts on the importance of ending animal agribusiness subsidies and maybe helping farmers transition too.
I find it extremely important. If there was one political action I would ever engage in, it would be that one. And that's the only one I've ever thought about or considered. And it's because that subsidy itself is enabling them to get away with what they're getting away with. Quite literally, people are paying $4 for a $40 hamburger. And it's just ridiculous. It gives us more of an uphill battle to fight. And it makes things even more unfair, not just for the animals, but for everybody else involved here.
Yep.
And they shouldn't have the right to have such a monopoly over the subsidies that are given out to agribusiness. Mm-hmm. Agriculture is just as important as animal agriculture makes itself seem to be. So with agriculture, we should be supporting that way more than anything else. But currently, the funds are being put aside for animal agriculture mainly. I mean, I don't know if you know what the figures are. I haven't looked further into this beyond what I already know about this, but the figures, from what I understand, the numbers that go to agribusiness versus animal agribusiness is phenomenally different, like day and night different.
It's different, and you also have some crossover in that we heavily fund, in America at least, soybean production and corn production, and a lot of that is an indirect subsidy to animal agribusiness. Right. So they're all taken together, and it's in the billions of dollars. Between last year's bailouts and this year's bailouts and the systematized subsidies, we're talking $30 to $50 billion, depending on how you do the math,
right,
per year. And the animal agribusiness only spends roughly $40 million a year lobbying and campaigning. That's a huge return on investment.
Yeah, that's not even. I can't believe that happens.
Yeah. There's a saying in DC. It's when you're not at the table, you're on the menu. And so the reason we started Vegan Justice League is because we want to take a permanent seat at the table.
Yeah.
Start with one, grow to two, grow to three, and get in those politicians' ears and stop this nonsense. So that when we go out as vegans and vote with our dollars, it's not undermined by our tax dollars.
Yeah, and that's powerful. That's a power play. I'm all for this.
Cool. Yeah, and you know what? Everything I've learned in AV for outreach, I used it in Washington, D.C., talking to politicians and their staffers. You do a little bit of outreach. It's not quite the same because you're playing to them getting reelected, but it's still understanding what their values are and talking to those points. And I definitely honed my chops at the cubes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really awesome to hear. So anything that we can do to support this mission, let us know.
Okay,
because
thank you.
These bastards shouldn't be getting away with this, and we should be doing whatever we can to stop it.
Yeah, thank you for your support.
I had very little knowledge of this, like the figures and all that, but I knew that it was very much out-balanced. And if the soy crops and those crops that are being fed to livestock are being subsidized heavier than every other plant that's being farmed, it reeks of corruption, and I just can't believe we live in a world where we let people get away with this.
Yeah, the return on investment for lobbying, the rule of thumb in DC is 1,000 to 2,000 times. So if we can put in, whatever we put into lobbying, that's 1,000, 2,000 times return to the animals, to the planet, to vegans.
Yep, I'm all for it. I like this a lot.
Thank you.
All the power to you, and let us know, because that needs to happen.
Cool. And thanks for starting AV. This has just been incredible.
Thanks for being a part of it. It's been a pleasure to work with you, Laura. All right, much love, and go out there and crush those subsidies.
Peace. Thank you so much. so much.
Of course.